Welcome to the Why on Earth Communities Stewardship and Sustainability podcast series. And today we're visiting with Adam Eggleston and Alex Martin from Madera Outdoor and Wilderness Culture. Hey Adam, hey Alex.
Hey,
how's it going?
Great, how you guys doing?
Pretty good.
I'm really excited to talk about planting trees and getting to the outdoors. And before diving in, let me just do a little introduction for each of you two so that our audience has a little sense of your background. So Adam Eggleston was born and raised in Idaho. He lived in Chile for 2 years doing service work and graduated from Brigham Young University with a degree in human biology. Adam started Madera Outdoor during the last semester of college because he was inspired by the woods he lived in during the summers in Jackson Hole, working as an unofficial arborist. I love the unofficial part of that, arborist. He got into that hustle, his term, because he had a truck he used as an over-the-cab camper. And when not living in the camper, he would cut and sell deadwood to locals to heat their homes in the winter and reduce the risk of wildfire in the summer. Madera Outdoor is an extension of that work, but instead of cutting trees, Adam and the Madera team plant trees for humanitarian purposes, and we'll hear a lot more about that. Alex Martin went to Old Dominion University until his junior year, where he studied economics before dropping out to pursue an opportunity in New York City. He originally wanted to be an investment banker, but started an email marketing company while in college, which set him on a very different trail. In 2011, Alex saw a big opportunity for social media and began testing strategies to virally grow online communities. It took him about 3 years and countless hours to figure it out, and that's when he started Wilderness Culture. He endured 3 failed business attempts prior to landing on Wilderness Culture in 2014. So Alex lives in Virginia Beach and Adam is in San Jose. And guys, it is such a great pleasure and opportunity to be able to speak with you today. Thanks so much for joining the show.
Yeah, privileged to be here. Thanks for having us.
Yes, indeed.
So I'm so excited to dive right in and cut to the chase and share with our audience what an amazing things you guys are doing with your business model in terms of helping uplift people around the world and helping to resolve several interrelated environmental and ecological challenges. And by way of kind of framing this up, could you describe what is the business model and what is the work you're doing through Madera?
Yeah, so our business model is always, I've never really started the business as a way to make money and to be, like to put money in my own pocket. And I've told Alex this in some of our conversations, but I really would have been fine if we would have started Madera as a nonprofit, because I just think that the humanitarian aid and environmental impact that companies can have, on the positive side is so big, and it's so untouched in retail space. Sorry, I'm outside, and so you'll hear some motorcycles and stuff passing by, but the business model at Madera is to, for every product that we sell, we plant trees. And that's actually, we have a page on our website that talks about how planting trees is kind of the face of the business. It's really just the tip of the iceberg, because there is a lot more humanitarian aid that happens other than planting trees, because, the life of a tree has so many ways to benefit people and animals that we've put the principles of tree planting and nitrogen fixation and forest gardens into play in countries in Sub-Saharan Africa that are third world countries and poverty stricken. And then we've partnered up with Trees for the Future, who they are the ones, they have a team down there who are teaching the locals how to take care of their crops and whatnot, and eventually yield some pretty amazing results for them and their entire sphere of life. And ultimately the end goal is to lift them out of poverty and allow them to be self-sustaining through trees, and it works.
It's absolutely beautiful. And Adam, I love how one of the ways you frame this for your customers is that if they're buying, for example, a hammock, you'll plant 2 trees, and often we're hanging a hammock between 2 trees. So there's such a beautiful symmetry there. And Alex, I'm wondering if you might add to that and enhance the description there from your perspective with wilderness culture.
Yep. So Wilderness Culture, we're an online magazine and like informational platform. Our whole mission is to get people outdoors and to do it responsibly and respectfully. So we partner with brands and individuals and companies and nonprofits who kind of share those same values. We filter everything through pretty much 3 things. It's like people, which is a community, protecting the planet, and then pursuing quality. So those are that's our filter points.
Great. I love it. People, planet, quality.
Yep.
Excellent. And, those of us, some of our network in the Y on Earth community are incredibly knowledgeable and expert in the realm of material sciences, in the realm of industrial engineering, in the realm of business models and economic strategies. And quality ends up being such a key when we're talking about stewardship and sustainability.
Absolutely.
Overcoming this kind of throwaway cheap culture that we've seen for the last several decades. So it's awesome to have that emphasis.
Yeah. And we try to like with our community, we just, everyone has to buy stuff, but we want them to be conscious about what they're buying. So it's kind of like conscious consumerism is what we try to encourage people to do.
Yeah. I love it. Well, I want to mention too, for our audience, I know many of whom are in Colorado or might even want to make the trip. We're going to be doing a very special collaborative event on Saturday, August 31st in Boulder, Colorado at the Highlands City Club from 2 to 5 p.m. with Madera Outdoor. And we're going to be doing biodynamic soil activation. We're going to be connecting with a bunch of the Madera Ambassadors, and we're going to be planting trees if the baby tree starts from the nursery we work with are available. So it's going to be a fabulous time to come together in community to celebrate and to work toward these social and environmental goals together. So I just wanted to make sure up front in the show to get that info out so folks can put that on their calendar, August 31st.
Labor Day weekend.
What's that?
Labor Day weekend. Yeah,
it's Labor Day weekend. Some will be in town, some out of town. We already know there are going to be some folks here from Switzerland visiting. I heard about that today. It should be a lot of fun. So you mentioned, we all have to buy something at some point, and the opportunity to choose quality is such a huge part of our conscious consumerism, using our demand, that superpower to affect positive change worldwide. So on that note, will you guys share with us the many wonderful products that you have available?
Yeah, so Madera is an outdoor, we've stuck along the lines of lightweight backpacking gear. And that's kind of the group that we try and keep all of our products in. And so when we first started, we started with regular camping hammocks, and those did really well. We sold those for a couple of years. And we recently, this is one of our newer products. These are our art hammocks.
Nice.
And anyways, they have art on them by a pro skier and a professional muralist. They painted these together, and so you're able to get in the minds of like a pro skier and a pro muralist. But we have all sorts of other, the whole point is to get people out in nature, and which is why Wilderness Culture and Madera is such a great partnership. But yeah, we have all sorts of other products as well. We have lightweight sleeping pads, that are, I compare it to the gear that I took on my 50 milers when I was a kid. I can fit into a day pack now, like I can take all that stuff ultralight and it still does the job. So yeah, we have sleeping bags, headlamps, sleeping pads, backpacks, and we're working on all sorts of other gear like blankets and travel packs, like cubes to organize your stuff. And yeah, there's just a lot of other products. We have all the hammock accessories, hammock straps, and whatnot.
So for anyone who wants to check out the gear and look at making some purchases and getting some trees planted, they can go to MaderaOutdoor.com. Is that right? Is that the best way to check that out?
Yep. And if you want to check out the art hammocks, it's MaderaOutdoor.com/art.
Yeah, excellent. Cool. What is your favorite of all the products you have? What's your favorite, and what do most people seem to get excited about?
I really like these art hammocks a
Yeah.
lot.
Those are my favorite too. I get excited about those.
Yeah.
I look at them and I just know how perfectly, like, they're so appealing to like my brain.
Yeah. Well, and those art hammocks too, every time I look at them, I feel like I see something new.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
There's so much on them that, I mean, they did so much detail in those hammocks that every time you look at it, you just see a new, piece of art come out of it. It's pretty impressive.
And did they do the designs originally like on paper or canvas or digitally? How did that process evolve?
No, they actually started. They painted on a 4x8 sheet of plywood actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And I have one here that's called the Stealthy Marmot. I have one hammock called the Stealthy Marmot. I don't have it here, but part of it they actually just didn't paint anything, and behind it is just the wood, kind of the grain, the texture.
Cool.
And you don't notice that when it's printed because it just looks like they painted that too, but it's actually just you're actually looking at an image, a high resolution image of a 4x8 sheet of plywood. So it's not even the image. This is like a JPEG image,
Yeah, super cool. That's great. Well, it's such a compelling and interesting way to enhance the gear that we're carrying with us out into the wilderness. And of course, at the Wild on Earth community, one of our 5 key action pillars is nature connection and the importance of making that direct, intimate relationship connection with the natural living world. Of course, it gives us all kinds of benefits physically, emotionally, psychologically. Science is increasingly able to detect, understand, measure this sort of thing. And it also, I think, helps us as modern humans to become better stewards of this living planet when we actually have direct relationship with the magnificence of the forests of those natural living landscapes.
That reminds me. So my wife is a doctor. She's an OBGYN resident at Santa Clara Valley Medical Center. Anyways, there was this one area where we were doing she was doing actually OB rotation. No, I don't remember what rotation she was doing actually. She was doing a rotation, and one of the doctors said to her, and this is just kind of along the lines of like what the forest can bring people and what nature can bring people. But he said to her, he's like, some people take pills for depression every day. And he's like, instead of that, I take myself out to lunch. And so like Madera and also wilderness culture, we really focus on, and we have core values on the importance of self-care and our connection to the earth. And that's actually one of the things that these art hammocks really shows, and that the artists are really passionate about, and that they'll mention is that, they show the connection between, they have these icons, Mother Nature and Father Winter, and how they connect through the waves, the animals, weather, humans, and all things living. Sorry to interrupt.
And I think it's cool to point out too, like, you don't have to like go on some like crazy big backpacking trip to really experience, that good feeling you get when you're outside. Like when I was in San Jose with Adam last week, we would just work all day and then go hit the mountain biking trails in the evenings or on Saturday. And that was like some of the best memories. Like that was so much fun. Like, and we were just, out there for a few hours riding mountain bikes, screaming down the hill, and you just feel so much better after that. So,
yeah. I absolutely love that. And I find too, I actually lived in New York City for a while. And when we're in these pretty intense urban environments, often there are parks not too far away.
Yeah.
We can go and find ourselves a cool little nook and just hang out for a while. Like this whole notion of forest bathing, Shinrin Yoku, that tradition coming from the Japanese culture. We don't, for some of us, I know even getting on a bike might seem a little intimidating.
Yeah.
And nevertheless, there are so many different ways we can be connecting with nature. And you're absolutely right. It doesn't necessarily mean we're on a 20-day backpacking excursion up in the wilderness somewhere.
Yeah.
On the Appalachian Trail.
Exactly. Although the wilderness stuff's fun too. I just did a 5-day backpack with my son Hunter up in the Indian Peaks wilderness. And it was
nice.
Absolutely fabulous. We had
is that out by like Iceberg Lake or Ice Lake?
No, I don't know that one. We were at Jasper Lake for a couple days.
Okay, nice, yeah.
Fishing and
or Island Lake. Have you heard of that? Island Lake?
No, not right where
that one. Okay, yeah, it's beautiful. It's in Colorado.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
I've never been. I've just seen pictures. It's on my list.
Great. Yeah. Well, when you guys are out this way, we'll have to do a little hike or a little excursion somewhere.
For sure.
One of the things I really admire about your model and want to spend some time sharing with our audience is the way you're impacting these communities, these cultures in other parts of the world. And the Trees for the Future program, it's just awesome, and it's so inspiring, and it's so fabulous that we can not only get these high quality products for our own nature connection practices, but by doing this, by shopping with you all at Madera, we can actually be helping other people all around the world and helping other environments and ecosystems in other places. So will you give us a picture of what this looks like and how you're doing this work?
Yeah. So the agreement the partnership that we have set up between Madera and Trees for the Future is a pay-per-sale agreement. So what happens is, when we, at the end of the month, we'll go through and calculate. We have a spreadsheet. We export all of our orders, and then we count. We're like, okay, hammock 2 trees, shirt 1 tree, whatever. Assign the trees to the products, and we figure out how much money we owe Trees for the Future. And so Trees for the Future then takes our donation, and they use the resources to buy seeds, to buy tools, and to get people on the ground and volunteering to teach the people in Sub-Saharan Africa the sustainable practices. That's probably about the most basic snapshot of it, but it's such a complex mission. Trees for the Future is so dedicated and so willing to help these people out. The ultimate goal of this is to decrease the socio-economic gap that exists. I've traveled all over the world. I've been to Israel. I've been to Central America, South America, even Indonesia. We went to Bali, and it's just amazing to me, like how luxurious our lives are here in the United States. And I often think, like, would that be possible if there wasn't socioeconomic inequality? If we had people who would work, if we didn't have people who would work for really cheap, I always wonder that. And so it's really good because capitalism it's a beautiful double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
And I've often wondered, like, without people standing up for their dignity and earning what they are worth, or what if there was like if people were would work in I kind of lost my train of thought there, but I think I was going to if everybody made I think what I'm trying to get at is I think everybody needs to work and they need to earn their keep,
Yeah.
Like, I believe I don't think that there should be handouts. Handouts I've done service missions where we give handouts to people, and we come back a year later and there's nothing to show, you know, from what we did because the people didn't use what we gave them, you know. And
Yeah.
so that's why I think that this mission is so important because it's actually, you know, giving something for the people to measure and grow themselves and actually in turn produce fruits in the literal sense.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so powerful. You know, I know many of us are going to be familiar with the old parable and story about teaching a man to fish instead of giving a hungry man a fish.
Yep.
And you know, when you have through Trees for the Future, you have people who are planting these forest gardens. Silviculture is a term that some folks will be familiar with, through which they can feed themselves, get some additional products to sell at market, feed their livestock. Not only are they getting these important economic and social benefits, they are also part of an entire global movement of landscape restoration and soil regeneration. And we know along that Sub-Saharan African region in Africa there, that there is so much work being done to halt the advance of the Sahara Desert and to build soils and to restore forest ecosystems. That's happening on other continents as well. And it's one of the great big movements that's underway to help deal with some of the complex systemic challenges we're facing as a planet, like climate change and some of these other related impacts that we're seeing. And so it's such a beautiful win-win-win. And as we're seeing, there are definitely some structural inequalities built into the global marketplace, the way that it is currently constructed. There's no doubt about that. And anybody who would argue that, I would have to suggest is either wholly misinformed or is not being genuine in his or her perspective. And we have a lot of work to do to close that gap. And certainly cultivating a sense of self-reliance in a sustainable context is one of the most important tools we have to work with our brothers and sisters all around the world on this incredibly important issue. So it's just wonderful what you guys are doing in the way that you're helping spread awareness on the one hand and also send those critical resources in addition.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you about your ambassador program, because this is also super cool and interesting. And I think, you know, we're seeing more and more models adopting this kind of network theory approach to marketing and messaging. And I'm really curious. I met one of your ambassadors, Heather, just the other day. It's fabulous meeting her, and we're so excited to be collaborating with her for the upcoming event on the 31st. And I'm wondering if you could just tell us a bit about the ambassador framework. How does that work? How can other people plug into it?
Yeah. So, I mean, an ambassador is a person who brings new ideas to new places. And for the past 3 years, that's basically what our business model has been. So, I mean, we've had hundreds of thousands of people apply to be brand ambassadors. And so basically what the system looks like is we have, you know, you apply to become a brand ambassador, and then we accept all who are interested in promoting a good cause, because why would we ever not want somebody to help plant trees and further our mission? And so we bring them on, and what we do is we ask that they invest in our brand, because I mean, you can't really tell your friends to, you know, to purchase a product and to purchase a mission, or contribute to a mission, better said, if they don't know anything about like what the company does. And we are a products business, and so, you know, we do require that you make a purchase, but anybody who applies and makes a purchase, we give them a bunch of free gear too. So there's lots of perks that way. We give them a lifetime discount. And actually, I did want to mention that we've actually made these massive changes in our ambassador program. Because before we were just, for the past couple of years, we've just kind of been like pushing ads really hard to get people to apply to our brand ambassador program. And our ambassadors have, recently spoken up, and they're like, hey, we don't feel like you guys are hearing us. And that was, I've kind of learned to deal with adversity in business and to not take it personally. But this actually was something that really, touched me, because I really have wanted ambassadors to like be really passionate about our brand, but I realized that there was a major flaw on our end, and that's that we weren't, involving them, and we weren't informing them enough of the processes. And that's actually one of the reasons why we brought Alex on with Wilderness Culture, so he can help, revamp that program. And so one of the things that we're doing now with the ambassador program, we've changed up our entire business model, actually, because our ambassadors are so key. They're the sturdy branches of the business. So we used to have a discount model, which meant we had really high prices and really big discounts. So we switched that up so that ambassadors can share with their friends a lot easier and just say, go check it out. Their products are reasonably priced. And, obviously we'll still offer, discounts and promotions and whatnot, but that's not going to be as frequent as it was before. So that was a huge thing that we did to change up our ambassador program. Just make it easier for people to come to the site and learn about our products, learn about our mission. The other thing that we've done is we've created a reward system where people can get rewarded for doing good, not just like sharing about our brand, because ultimately sharing about Madera is doing good, but we want to reward people for doing things like planting trees. And so we've created a loyalty rewards program where people can submit that kind of stuff. That's a lot of that is in the works right now, but that's kind of our vision of what it's going to be, and it's pretty close to completion. Alex and his team are working on that, and there's been a lot, like, people have asked us about our supply chain in China, and so I went over there. My wife and I took a trip over there, and we saw the entire process, because we want to have more brand transparency and we want to tell our story, and that's something that we haven't done very well, and so that's why we traveled to China, so we could get footage and show people the faces of the people who are making our products. And that's why we're doing this event with Y on Earth and with other organizations. Like, I came to find that there was a critical flaw in our ambassador program, and it wasn't the ambassador program that needed to change. It was me, and it was the people that I was working with. And so I had to get rid of the people on our team that didn't share the vision and bring on people who would. And ultimately it's been a rough transition, but it's I know that we're headed in the right direction, because we're taking all the right steps, and we're trying to build that customer trust up, and really like make a positive difference in the world. So that's that's our ambassador program. Alex, did you have anything you want to add to that?
No, I mean, our big thing now is like, focusing more on the mission, coming up with goals, like how many trees do we want to plant. So that's kind of the direction we're going, as well as creating more communities around the ambassadors. So it's like, we want to dive into, dividing the ambassadors up into like, hey, these ambassadors like to go climbing, so you guys can all go climbing together. These ambassadors, like to go mountain biking or surfing. So kind of outside that, we want more like just community, mission focused goals. That's where we're going to, that's where we see the brand going. So.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. Well, I really appreciate that you guys both share with so much authenticity and candor the mistakes you've made, the learnings you've had, and that's obviously such an essential part of the entrepreneurial process. It's essential to community leadership, And to be able to share that openly, I think only invites and empowers others to do more of that kind of learning and sharing themselves. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful gesture. You know, I want to make sure we get all of our logistical information out to everybody. So let me just make a quick set of announcements. We are speaking with Adam Eggleston and Alex Martin from Madera Outdoor and Wilderness Culture. And on August 31st, Saturday, 2019, at the Highland City Club Gardens in Boulder, beautiful, exquisite property if you haven't been there, from 2 to 5 p.m., the Y on Earth community and Madera Outdoor are hosting a wonderful soil activation and tree planting celebration for the community. So please join us. And to get more information and to do some shopping, you can go to maderaaoutdoor.com to hear and check out more about the beautiful custom art hammocks. You can do that with /art, maderaaoutdoor.com/art. On Facebook, you can connect in with Madera Outdoor. And on Instagram, it's Madera_outdoor. And I want to be sure to mention that this is the Y on Earth Community's Stewardship and Sustainability podcast series. And this series is made possible through the generous support of several organizations, and that includes Madera, Patagonia, the International Society of Sustainability Professionals, Waylay Waters, Purium, Equal Exchange, the Association of Waldorf Schools of North America, Earth Coast Productions, and most especially a growing number of folks giving through our monthly giving program. And you can go to yonearth.org, hit the donate tab, and you'll be able to join the monthly giving program at whatever level works for you. When you join, we'll send you special codes to download free copies of all the ebook and audiobook resources, and you can share that with friends too. So that's a beautiful exchange there. And guys, we never actually covered this before recording, but if Y on Earth is becoming an ambassador, or if I am, is there like a code or something we should share with folks that they can use if they want to make that connection?
Yeah, we can just do what's a simple code that you guys?
Y on Earth is an awesome one. That's straightforward.
Yeah, we can just do Y on Earth for 20% off. That would be all of our full price products. So
that's great. So yeah, we'll just go ahead, Adam.
I was just gonna say Y on Earth for 20% off.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. So we'll just make sure everyone knows about all that too. And I'll put this in the show notes for everybody as well. And join us on the 31st. And we're probably also going to be doing some other events around the country, it sounds like, in the coming months. So we'll keep everyone informed of that as well. So guys, we've got just a couple minutes left. And I want to thank you both, Alex and Adam, for joining us on the show today. And before we head out, is there anything you'd like to share with the audience about the future, or some sort of an inspirational message that you would like to kind of leave us with as we conclude for today?
I mean, for me, I think that in the craziness of life, I've just found so much like great things in the outdoors. I mean, meeting people, awesome people, meeting people like Adam through this industry and through camping and hiking. I mean, the amount of relationships and people that I've met. I would just say, like, if you're if you haven't tried camping, you haven't gone hiking, like, find a group, find our ambassadors, what they're doing, get around those people and just, enjoy it.
Yeah. And I second what Alex said. I recently, my wife had her cousin pass away who was our age. And I mean, what kind of advice do you give to her parents, And it's hard as like a 28-year-old to give people who are twice your age advice, but I sat down and told them I think that the best way to heal with your son's passing or whatever, you know, like problem or, you know, trial you're going through in life, I think that's through human connection. Whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, you know, I think that building community is so important. As humans, we're social beings, and we need to be around people, and we need to be, you know, we need to find people who have that, you know, who share our passions and our dreams, and that makes us so much more successful. So
Absolutely beautiful from both you guys. Connect with nature, connect with people. Thank you so much. It's been a real joy visiting with you both today, Alex and Adam. Thanks for joining the show, and really looking forward to collaborating with you. And to,
we're very excited.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Indeed. We'll see you on the 31st.
See you on the 31st.
Awesome.